Hey guys, welcome back to my channel here. It's Lavender here, comrades. Today I am back with another true crime case world history video. So today I'm doing the true crime case Vietnam's Agent Orange victims, the United States imperialism and war crimes, plus Monsanto's role in that, U.S. atrocities. So let's get started into this true crime case video. So Agent Orange, best known for its widespread use by the imperialist U.S. military during the Vietnam War to clear the vegetation during the Vietnam War, is notorious for being laced with a chemical contaminant known as and called as TCDD, regarded as one of the most toxic substances ever created on this earth. America has never really taken any responsibility at all for its spraying of the toxic herbicide over Laos during the Vietnam War. Agent Orange was a war crime. It was, period. The United States is one of the biggest human rights violators in this world today. Henry Kissinger played a pivotal role in the escalation of the U.S. attack on Vietnam, the Vietnam War, the bombing of Cambodia and Laos as a whole, as well. Henry Kissinger informs President Richard Nixon the U.S. has dropped basically 1 million pounds of bombs on North Vietnam. Nixon responds, like the war criminal he is, that shock treatment is cracking them. I tell you, the best thing to do is to pour it in there every place we can. Just bomb the hell out of them. Crack the hell out of them. That was told by two war criminals, Richard Nixon and Henry Kissinger. All told, between 1969 and 1973, the United States military dropped 500,000 tons of bombs on Cambodia alone, killing at least 100,000 civilians in the area. From 1965 to 1969, Monsanto Company manufactured Agent Orange for the U.S. military as a wartime government contractor. The Monsanto Company was one of 9 wartime government contractors who manufactured Agent Orange. The government set up the specifications for making Agent Orange and determined when, where, and how it was used. This is fascism because when the U.S. government merges with, companies, that's fascism. That's fascism because when companies merge with the government, that's fascism. United States courts have determined that wartime contractors such as, the former Monsantos who produced Agent Orange for the government are not responsible for damage claims. Vietnam reports that some 400,000 people and civilians have suffered death or permanent injury from exposure to Agent Orange long term. Furthermore, it is estimated that 2 million people have suffered from illnesses caused by exposure and that 500,000 babies are born with birth defects due to the effects of the ongoing Agent Orange situation. The 600,000 gallons of herbicides dropped in Laos is a fraction of the roughly 19 million that were sprayed on Vietnam. The newly examined Air Force records now show that the first extensive period of spraying in Laos used not Agent Orange, but a much more toxic Agent Purple, the use of which was discontinued in Vietnam almost 1 year earlier. Tests showed that the average concentration of TCDD in Agent Purple, a different chemical formulation, was as much as 3 times higher than in Agent Orange, as in the chemicals. Vietnamese civilians and complaints about the effects of the herbicides on human health, raising issues of respirations, corporate liability, and possible war crimes were dismissed as propaganda. American diplomats were forbidden from even uttering the words. It was not until around 2000 that the United States was finally forced to acknowledge its obligations. It completed its study on the impact of how the toxic chemical decan and showed U.S. officials incontrovertible evidence of how TCDD moved up the food chain, entered the human body, and was transmitted to infants through breast milk of the mother. Of the 517 cases of disabilities and birth defects so far documented by the War Legacies Project in Laos, about 3/4 like malformed limbs are identifiable to the restrained eye, as the conditions of the sorts are now linked to exposure from Agent Orange long term. Laos is still a landscape defined by war and disease. Unexploded bombs are everywhere. Cluster bomb casings have morphed into vegetable planters or substitute for wooden stilts to support the thatched huts that store rice in. A victim of this, Nan 30, was a victim of the cluster bomblet explosion, one of the thousands in Laos killed or severely injured by unexploded ordnance left over from the war. She was never able to receive proper medical care for her injury. Many other victims suffer from Agent Orange, as in they suffer from intellectual disabilities, cancer, respiratory diseases, etc., and other things that have been caused by this poison.